Excuse me, could you point me in the direction of ScreamCity? Never mind, I think I found it.
Hey horror freaks, welcome back to ScreamCity. I'm your host, Jessica.
And I'm Monica. And today we are not covering the mean one, unfortunately, but we are making it up by covering the 2015 film Krampus.
Yes, we actually had to bump this movie up by a week because Monica and I were not going to be able to watch the mean one in time to release that episode. So sorry if you were expecting a mean one episode, but it will get done soon.
Yeah, honestly, I was looking forward to watching the mean one.
Yeah.
I think, so we said it was coming out on the 15th in the last episode. I looked it up, and I also am following David Howard Thornton. And so they released it on the 8th, I think in one theater, and then the actual US release was supposed to be the 9th, but it's only in selected theaters. But I also heard it's supposed to be on streaming services, so maybe that's going to be on the 15th. I'm not 100% sure. I just know that with our recording schedule, we weren't able to record the mean one, so we're going to maybe cover that next.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Okay. All right.
But now on to Krampus. I really like this movie.
I like this movie too. I think it's good. Yeah.
Personally, I feel like I feel like I say this about every movie, but I feel like it's become like a tradition to watch it during the holidays. You know what I mean?
I like it.
Yeah.
I like this one too. I watched it last year, and then I don't think I rewatched it before then, but it's a good one. I like this one. It resonates a lot with you, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yes, a lot.
Does. I like it. But as always, before we head into the actual movie itself, Monica, what have you been up to lately?
Keep it short and simple. Nothing.
Okay.
My work life and my personal life are just, they take up a lot of my time recently. So I've been trying to find ways to, again, how to separate it and how to kind of mesh it all together. And so it's a work in progress.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm just working all the time.
Cool.
What about you?
Well, first of all, if I sound like a man, my voice has been like this literally since Monday.
You know, I was actually going to say, I feel like this voice suits you.
Thank you.
It sounds really well.
Like it suits my face.
Yeah.
Like it suits
My like
personality.
I like the way it sounds on you.
I'm not going to lie. I like it too.
Yeah. So let's hope you keep it. So I don't know what kind of infection you got going on, but keep it.
No, and I was telling Monica, it's weird. Well, actually, I feel like I've had it since like Sunday. Oh yeah, I've had it since like actually Saturday. And I was telling her, like, I don't feel sick. Like, I don't have a stuffy nose, like, anything. It's just this voice. So, I don't know if maybe I just went through puberty a little too late.
A little too late in life, but you know what?
But,
Better late than never, I guess.
But that's that. And also, another fun, exciting part of my life right now is I finally started a new job.
You finally started your job.
I am...
Last week, we were like, we hope you start soon.
Yeah. And I'm finally back in the vet med field. So that's fun. I missed it, and I guess now Monica and I are gonna have more things to relate to.
Yeah, not just
separate
not just
clinics
in the cinematic universe, but and everywhere else.
Separate clinics, but I'm sure we'll be able to relate to one another.
Oh yeah, 100%, like always.
Yeah.
But okay, life stuff out of the way. Let's get into the movie a little bit. So let's start off with a brief summary. For those of you who have not watched it, is this random question? Is this a remake?
No,
right?
Not that
It's like
no.
Well, because I know that isn't there already a Krampus movie?
If I'm not mistaken, from like the 80s, maybe.
I think there's an old Krampus movie, but we're talking about the more recent one. I don't think it's a remake though. So
I don't think it's a remake.
I don't think so either. Okay. But if you haven't watched it yet, or if you just need a refresher, which is fine. But in case you haven't watched it and you were maybe planning on watching it, do know that our episodes have spoilers. If that's not already obvi for our, re-listeners and who keep up with us. But anyway, so if you haven't watched it, we highly recommend watching it first before you listen. But if you don't care about spoilers, then continue. So this story revolves around a pretty dysfunctional family, but it mainly focuses on a little boy named Max who has lost the spirit of Christmas after getting made fun of by his cousins for still believing in Santa. Bitches.
Yes.
Max's lack of Christmas spirit summons
Krampus?
Crump.
Tea and crumpets.
Oh, you were thinking of crumpets, and I was thinking of crump, like the dance.
Oh.
Is that what it's called? Crumping?
Crank?
No.
Crunk?
Crumping.
The fuck is that?
You've never seen Bring It On?
Nah, I'm honest with you.
Crumping. It's like
Last time I did was
it's like a really
5.
aggressive popping.
Huh.
It's a type of dance. Anyway, yes. So Max's lack of Christmas spirit summons Krampus, who is a half goat demon that punishes and scares misbehaved children. We'll get into the history of Krampus a little bit later in the episode. But basically, shit starts to hit the fan when the family finds themselves stuck in a winter storm with no power. Max and his family stick together and attempt to fight off Krampus and his evil elves when they pay the family a visit.
Yes. I'm starting to sense a pattern in these horror, like, holiday movies.
Okay.
Revolving around, like, home invasion, like, dysfunctional families. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, I don't know. And I feel like they're just trying to show that, like, in the family, like, in the end, family is all you have, you know? Like,
I think that's like the message for a lot of the Christmas
for
movies.
almost all of them, yeah. Like,
I feel like even in
like Home
The
Alone.
Lodge.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Completely
Two
different
different-
movies. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, obviously,
Yeah.
because it's like, I feel like the holidays are the time to reflect on what you should be grateful for.
Yeah,
And
blah, 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 blah,
Yeah,
blah,
blah, blah.
Yada,
We
yada,
care
yada.
about the horror.
Right? All right. Well, now let's get into our experience watching this movie for the first time. So, Monica, what were your initial thoughts watching this for the first time, and what is your favorite kill and scene?
Okay, so when I first watched it, this movie came out in theaters, because I have like I don't think it's a vivid memory, but I feel like it's like a dream sense type of memory, if that makes sense, that I watched this in theaters. Like, I don't think it was a streaming release.
No, this came out in 2015.
And I think it was in theaters, because I think I remember going to the theaters with a friend and watching it, but like last minute. But I will say, I think and then my only memory watching it in theaters is when I was watching this, I was like, what the hell am I watching? Which I'll get into it later, but I mean, that was like my first thought. And then I watched it again last year, and I still had the same thought of what the fuck am I watching? Mostly because it starts off as, I guess, like almost any type of movie, like Christmas movie, where they show you sort of following the little boy and the way that he believes in Santa and he wants Christmas spirit and this and this and that. And then everyone going over to his house for Christmas. And when I started thinking to myself, like, what am I watching? Was when, is it Howie Jr. when he goes and reaches for the gingerbread and he starts eating it and the gingerbread comes alive? That's when I was like, what is this? And then all the elves started coming out. Like, that's, because it turned from something very sinister to, like, cartoonish.
Yes.
And I was a little like, what?
Am I on edibles or like,
Exactly. Exactly.
Totally get that.
And so that was really my initial thought. But honestly, I thought the same a little bit with Trick or Treat when I watched it for the first time. So maybe it's just the effect that Micheal Dougherty has on me.
Yes.
So yeah, good for him for giving me that. But okay, so I'm going to do favorite scene. I'm going to have to say it would have to be when we first see Krampus, but when we don't see his face. And I like when we see Beth walking outside in the storm to go to her boyfriend's house. Idiot.
Yes.
And then we see Krampus.
Sorry, real quick. I know it's just a movie, but
Without the... Yeah, I know what you're...
why the fuck
Why?
did the parents...
Let her go out in the storm.
She is like 15, 16.
Yeah.
What the...
And not only that, if y'all really want to see
Fuck.
each other, why can't he come to you? Why can't
Exactly.
he do the gentleman thing to come to you?
I mean, he wasn't answering, which is why she wanted to go check
I
up on
guess
him.
that's true.
Number one. Number two, okay, go check up on him. But why the fuck is she going alone?
Like, why doesn't someone go with her?
Like,
Or like
she could
if she really does, like, because he lives like what did she say,
like 4 blocks away, I think.
4 blocks away. Is that
And
like miles?
I don't
How do you
even
measure blocks.
And here's the thing, like, forget that Krampus wasn't even a thing in the story. She could have easily like fallen. Or
She could have fallen. There could have been a
gotten
weirdo.
buried.
Someone just walking around and like
Buried.
I don't know,
Buried.
trying to see who's out in the
Yeah.
storm.
Gotten
Like,
buried between like the snow. Like,
Yeah.
whatever.
yeah, you never know. But again, we understand it's a movie, but it's
Yeah.
these things that we think about. We too. I feel like people don't understand that we too think about scenarios like these, and we're like, that's unrealistic.
Right.
Like, no one's gonna actually do that.
Yeah.
But we still like horror movies because
Right.
we understand that it's for the movie. But but the scene that I like is, yes, she's an idiot for going out alone, and her parents are also idiots for letting her go by herself. And then we see Krampus out in the far distance, and all we really see is his silhouette, and it's jumping from house to house. If I were to see that, I would literally, LITER, I can't spell, shit my pants.
Yeah.
Like, I would toot and shit would come out.
That man
because
is huge.
I was about to say, that was a good 10 feet.
Massive.
I was like, that was a good 10 feet
Massive.
wide and height.
Man.
You're like,
Fine as hell.
okay.
I'm just kidding.
No, Are we though?
Are we though?
But I think what I liked about it is that they, again, you don't see him, but you see from a distance how large he is from his silhouette and fucking jumping from house to house. I would shit my pants. And was she technically the first kill was the
driver.
the driver, right? That she
Delivery,
saw
yeah.
in the thing.
But he wasn't really important.
But yeah, and I liked it. I thought it was really good because it set the tone of like ominous and like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And I thought it was really good. And I feel like if you don't already know what Krampus is, like if you're sort of watching it for the first time and you don't really know the history of Krampus and you don't know what he is or what he looks like, I feel like watching this for the first time, you'd be like, is that Krampus?
Yeah.
What is that? That's disgusting. Like, it looks really huge. So I like that whole scene together, and then of course of her like yelling off the top of her lungs, but of course no one hearing her, and then hiding under the truck, and then is it her that? I mean, is it him that kills her, or is it like his little elves? Because we don't really see.
Yeah, we don't, because
We just see her go
the
under
van
the-
just kind of shakes, and that's when
Yeah.
you realize that, like, oh my gosh, she's
dying.
she did. I think it's one of her, like, one of his little elves or whatever,
One of
little
his little
toys maybe,
elves.
because Krampus drops a Jack in the Box in front of her.
Yes.
It's probably that Jack in the Box that.
Oh,
probably,
that's true.
you know,
That's
kinda-
true. The little toy thing. Yeah, that was pretty gross. And then my favorite kill, I am going to have to say, I like me a good little chimney kill. So I like the way that Howie Jr. dies.
Yeah.
It's similar, but not so similar to the way that Scrooge dies in Violent Night.
Oh yes,
Scrooge.
yes.
It's similar but not similar. So the way that Howie Jr. dies is a chain falls from the chimney. Everyone is asleep in the living room.
Yes.
Right. Everyone is sleeping, and Howie Jr. is the only one that wakes up and notices the chain falling from the chimney, but there's a gingerbread attached to it. And honestly, okay, the fact that his first thought was, ooh, gingerbread falling from a chain or attached to a chain falling in the chimney, I'm gonna eat it.
Right.
That was his first thought.
Yeah.
So honestly, he deserved what he got.
Honestly, I didn't really like him. He was kind of annoying. So
He was
yeah.
annoying to me. I hated the cousins, and I hated anyone who wasn't Max or his sister.
Right.
Well, even his sister was annoying, but
Yeah.
still. But yeah, he grabs it and he starts eating it, and then the gingerbread comes alive. And I liked it. And then he tugs on it, and then something from up top, which I'm going to guess is Krampus, pulls the chain back up and just pulls Howie all the way up. But by then, at that time, before he gets pulled up, the family wakes up and the dad tries to grab his feet and everything. And then, nope, he goes straight up the chimney, and then bloop, falls down his shoe. And that's it. That's all we see of him. There's not a bunch of gore at the beginning.
No. Honestly, I don't think there's a.
I don't think
There's
there's
not a
really
lot
much
of-
gore anywhere.
Okay, pause. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Why am I just now noticing your Killer Clowns from Outer Space poster? That is sick.
Oh yeah, I got that from Universal Studios.
Dude, and you didn't bring me one? You fake as hell.
I didn't.
You
I
fake as
didn't.
hell.
I am.
Dude.
I sure am. Isn't it cool?
That is so stinking
Isn't
sick.
it cool? I like it because it's like I was really debating on bringing it home because it came in a big ass tub, like
Yeah.
a tube,
Yeah.
and it did not fit in my luggage. And I was like, oh, I really want it. And I took it out of the tube and I prayed to the gods that it would not bend in my suitcase because I just took the poster by itself and then and I framed it. And I put it up.
Dude, it's
it cool?
so stinking cool.
Yeah. And I was like, I had to stare at it for a long time because I was like, I like it because it doesn't have like Halloween Horror Nights
Right.
everywhere, but I realized that it's here.
Yeah.
But it's so subtle that you don't
I
really notice
love
it.
that. That's so stinking cool.
It's like an 80s like movie poster.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay,
I love it.
great.
You're like, okay. I love it. So.
And you still didn't bring me one.
I still didn't. I won't be honest. I didn't know. I mean, I know you liked the movie, but I didn't know you liked the movie.
I mean, I like the movie, but that
but
poster's
it's a vibe.
sick.
Yeah, it's a vibe. It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's all right. I want. It's okay. It's gonna go in our studio.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Sounds
For
good.
sure, for
Sounds
sure.
good. Sounds good.
Anyway. Yeah. So I liked Howie Junior's. I know it was a little in the beginning. I know it was a little simple.
Yeah.
But I liked it. 'Cause
But it did the job.
It did the job.
did the
And I like I said, I think I liked the fact that it was a chimney type of kill. The way, in my head, I was like, it's Santa, but it's not Santa.
Right.
You know. So. Yeah.
Santa's evil shadow.
Exactly. And it was a little chimney kill. So.
Love.
But anyway, what about you?
So my first experience, experiencing it for the first time, watching it for the first time, I could not be able to tell you when that was. But I do remember, watching the trailer and I was like, okay, I'm pretty excited, it looks good. Watching it actually, I was a little confused. I was a little confuzzled because I was like, where are we going with this? The beginning scene, kind of reminded me of like some sort of daddy's home. I was like,
Okay.
is this a horror? Is this like
comedy?
comedy?
Is this, like, what is this?
Yeah, I'm a
Dude,
little-
it fucking killed me whenever the aunt and uncle showed up and they forget the baby in the car.
Yes.
Dude, I died. Honestly, me as a parent.
Honestly, same.
Me as a parent. I'm like, oh,
But
I forgot I
they
have
made
another
sure
one.
Miss Miss Rosie was safe and sound.
Yep.
And honestly, same.
Yeah. Props to her.
But yeah, no, I remember I was like, okay, this is a little interesting, but no, I honestly really enjoyed it, in the end, and I still do. And then my favorite scene has to be the attic scene. It is so funny.
The
and
attic
it's
scene is pretty funny.
definitely my favorite because it's just so chaotic because so many things are going on. And then like the three
Because they're everywhere. They're like in every
Yeah.
corner and every time the camera turns.
Yeah. Like Sarah, Linda, and Adam Scott's character.
They
I
deserved
forgot.
it.
Huh?
They deserved it.
Yeah. Well, they, they were getting attacked by freaking like evil toys. And then meanwhile, Howard is downstairs trying to fight off evil gingerbread cookies.
I think this is also what made me like, what
What am I
this?
watching? Yeah. And like the gingerbread cookies kind of reminded me of like Shrek. It was just.
Oh, I love that.
And then
Drop buttons.
And then one, like a fun fact, I don't know if you saw this, but Seth Green actually voices one of those gingerbread cookies.
You're lying.
I'm not. And I was like,
Aw.
wait, that's so cool.
I love
obviously
Seth
like
Green.
don't, I would have
great.
never recognized his voice,
love Seth
obviously,
Green.
but seeing like the cast and everything, I was like, what are you doing here? So that's pretty cool.
love
But yeah,
him.
and
I
then
didn't know that.
when Howard shoots one of them and then like that one gingerbread cookie survives and is going to kill him with like the sharpened candy cane. And then Miss Rosie comes to the rescue and eats it.
Yup.
I'm like,
Good girl.
as she should.
Good for you. I love her.
She is so cute because she is so me.
She's so mean.
She saw the chance and she took it.
She said, I'm going to take matters into my own hands.
Right.
Because you guys are obviously struggling.
For real.
Unfortunately, it is my time to step in.
Yes, ma'am.
Good for her.
Honestly.
I hope it tasted good.
Me too. A little burnt because it was on fire.
That's true.
But you know what? She's like, y'all weren't feeding me, so this is the best thing I can get right now.
Love her. But this movie was a treat for us to do research on because, my God, did the fun facts go on for days.
Yes.
There was a lot to
There was
know
a
about.
list.
A list
like,
of things.
Between watching like behind the scenes and just
Interviews
reviews in general too.
Reviews.
Yeah. It's just
I mean, are all of them 100% accurate? It's the internet.
it's
Who
the
knows?
internet. The internet lies.
Who
But
knows?
you know what? We're Delulu and it makes us happy.
Yeah.
They could be completely
Fake.
fake.
But until we get the cast on the podcast, we
Right.
won't ever know for sure.
Yeah.
So someone from the cast is going to have to come on the podcast and, correct us.
Yeah.
So there is so much to know about behind the making of this movie. But before we get into the cast, I wanted to share one of the few fun facts that we will be discussing. So for those of you who have watched the movie, you know that the ending scene is the family being stuck in a snow globe in what seems to be Krampus's lair.
I want to go to there.
I want to go to the lair.
But like not as like being stuck in the snow globe.
not as like a victim.
But like I want to go to the lair. You know what I mean?
Imagine if it was a haunted house. Remember? I told you about my haunted house idea for Krampus for like the Christmas season. I really think that would be a good idea.
That would be such a cool idea.
Yeah. Well, hidden among the many houses Krampus has collected over the years, Micheal Dougherty and the Psycho House are in there. I don't know if you can really see them. I couldn't find them. Well, at least the Psycho House, because I don't know what Micheal House's looks like.
Right.
So we're going to take his word.
We're going to take his word. We're going to take the internet's word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And say that it was in there. But I tried finding them during the scene, but I really couldn't point them out. So maybe I just need to look a little bit closer. They must be hidden really well because in between all of those snow globes, I'm sure they're somewhere.
I know.
But honestly, the fact that Micheal Dougherty included his house.
His own house.
His own house. He was like, I too lost Christmas spirit once.
Yeah.
And then the Psycho House, well, I'm going
They
to
don't even have
assume
Christmas.
Norman
they don't even
Bates-
have any spirit.
Yeah,
Let's be
Norman
honest.
Bates has no spirit for Christmas other than just to kill. So, yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
I love that.
I love that, actually.
Can you
and
imagine?
also, we haven't mentioned this, but I guess it's a good way to ease onto the cast. But if you guys didn't recognize the name Monica just mentioned, which is Micheal Dougherty?
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 Dougherty.
Dougherty?
Dougherty?
Micheal D.
Micheal D.
has actually been featured in another one of ScreamCity's episodes, which was for Trick or Treat. So, Micheal has directed both Krampus and Trick or Treat, which are, again, two of my absolute favorite movies. So, shout out to him for always releasing amazing films.
Honestly, I like the way, I think he also has his, what is it called?
Genre, style.
Like this film is very much him.
Yeah.
He has his style, and I think it fits him really well because a lot of the behind the scenes that I was watching for Trick or Treat, I feel like also fell for this one too. So I like that he took the two biggest seasons of the year and he was like,
makes iconic
yeah, and I think he did really well. But let's get into the cast really quickly and a little bit more because man, did this movie have a cast. First of all, my woman Toni Collette.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I love her to death.
I knew you would be excited about
Anything
it.
she's in, I can go on for days about how amazing Toni Collette is. I love her so much. But we also have to mention her, or we have also mentioned her in previous episodes because she is amazing and she also has range.
She's a scream queen. If you think about it, at this point,
She is a scream queen.
like Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense,
Hereditary.
this one.
This isn't really horror. I mean horror, but she was literally Knives Out.
I guess that's true.
Yeah,
That's
and
not a
that's
horror
thriller, but you know.
Knives Out isn't even really a thriller. I think it's more of just.
But we
like
covered it, so-
okay, yeah. Well, I don't know. My thing with Toni Collette is that she's just amazing.
She has range.
She does have range, and I think I love that she can. I think turn on and turn off a character. And she's just like woo.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think it's great.
Yeah, and then of course Adam Scott, David Koechner,
Dude, that man is hilarious. I love him.
Allison Tolman, I'm gonna butcher her name. Conchata Farrell, and Krista Stadler are in this too, and they're the adults of the film, which, little fun fact, for those of you who don't know, I was actually fortunate enough to meet David Koechner at a convention a few years ago.
He's so funny.
I mainly know him from The Office, which I know, fake fan. But my sister knows him from Cheap Thrills. So when my sister mentioned that to him, he got so excited because he was like, "Oh my God, no one ever talks about that movie."
Aww.
And he gave her a free autograph and let me get a free selfie. So shout out to him. And this goes to show that if you actually really like an actor and you actually like, you know,
like if you know
don't
them
just
for
watch,
just you know them for more than just what they're known for mainstream, like I think they'd appreciate it a lot more. I think that's like the thing that I get so nervous about with like celebrities because I'm like, I know they get this almost every day, or every time they go to stuff. So I'm like, I want to be that one person that like points out the thing. Like I noticed you in the background of this movie, and they're like, whoa,
yeah.
So I think do your research before you meet a celebrity.
Yeah, I think I've had a couple more interactions like that, but I can't think at the top of my head.
I love that.
And of course, this movie had a pretty good like kid cast too. MJ Anthony, who plays Max, Stephania Owen, who plays Beth, and Lolo Owen, who plays Stevie. Which, if you haven't caught on, another fun fact is that Lolo and Stephania are real life sisters who play cousins in this movie.
They do look alike.
They do.
They do look very similar.
When I was looking through the cast and I noticed the same last name, and then I was like, no way. And before I actually like confirmed it myself, I was like, let me take a look at their face. And sure enough, I was
gonna say, Stephania, I know her. She plays Beth, the sister who dies, right?
Yes.
I know her from the Carrie Diaries. She plays the younger sister to Carrie. Carrie's younger sister. She plays like this edgy, like 12-year-old going through like morbid emo like phase, and she's so pretty, and I love her so much. But her and her do look very much alike, and I was like, hello. I was like, they did not just put this girl as two different two different characters in the movie and just like change costumes. But yeah, they do look alike. They look pretty identical. Moving a little bit further, so another Easter egg that Dougherty left us horror fans was that, so there was a scene where the radio is going off and they're issuing a blizzard warning for a few counties, which one of them was Warren Valley, Ohio. Does that ring a bell?
Trick or treat.
Ding ding ding.
Yes.
Yeah, I like when like directors or movie creators sort of leave Easter eggs for like each of
from their own movie. Yeah, me
they're
too.
like, hey, just to let you know, I also created this.
That's really cool.
And it's awesome. But for those of you who remember our Trick or Treat episode, thank you. But also, Warren Valley is where Trick or Treat takes place. So that was like a really cute thing to realize if you were a really big Trick or Treat fan.
I know. All right. Well, now getting a little bit into the history of Mr. Krampus himself.
A history lesson.
And if you think about it, we also had a history lesson.
We do with another Micheal Dougherty
on Trick or Treat. Yeah.
I love that.
So
shout out Micheal Dougherty.
Thank you
for giving history lessons.
So as we mentioned earlier, Krampus is a half goat, half demon that terrorizes misbehaved children. He just like me for real. And this folklore legend / demon is believed to be originated. Listen, I did my research, but
we also got this from the internet.
He is is believed to be originated from either Austrian or German folklore. I kept reading two different things. Like literally one page would say he originated from Austrian folklore. He originated from. I'm like, who?
I feel like maybe. Well, I don't know. I feel like it could be not a mixture, but it could have started with one, but then it grew really.
Exactly. If I'm not mistaken, I think it started in Austria and kind of moved to southern Germany.
I was gonna say, did I send you that TikTok where in Austria they dress up as Krampus and they do like a parade and they just go around like quote unquote terrorizing like people around, and I think that's so cool.
Same.
And I think we should go.
We are gonna go to Austria and Germany and just witness all of that good shit. I'm excited. But yeah, again, basically,
so either way, it originated in one of the two places.
Yes, Central Europe, if you will.
Okay.
And just listen, I actually don't know if this is a U.S. thing or just like a Dallas or a Texas thing, but we have turkey trots for Thanksgiving. Kind of like you mentioned, Austria and Germany have Krampus runs.
I love that. Yeah,
which, it's like a marathon
so funny to see.
parade thing. And again, I would love to experience that one day. So,
but another European folklore is that it's a sort of mentioned or shown in the movie is when one of the gingerbread cookies is being lowered down the chimney. You see that it's attached to a hook. And in Iceland, the meat hook is one of the Iceland's 13 Yule lads. Which carries a meat hook and uses it to help lower himself down chimneys in order to steal meats that are cooking for Christmas. He'd be hooking up some meats.
If I were to be an evil folklore legend, I think I would also make it my thing to steal like any kind of food or meat, you know?
I love that.
I know, right?
Yeah, just steal meat.
And if you think about it, Santa, I mean, he doesn't really steal it because we leave it out for him.
Okay.
But Santa also takes food and cookies. So
he does.
You know, that's interesting.
He does. He breaks into people's houses.
He breaks into people's houses through their chimney.
And he's like, where are my cookies?
Do you think the Iceland meat hook is kind of loosely based off Santa?
It could be.
Because think about it. He comes down the chimney.
But they like sugar-coated Santa and they were like, no. He comes in and like eats cookies.
Yeah.
And like drinks milk.
Like,
and I'm like, why the fuck you eating my groceries?
He comes down the chimney and he steals foode. So it's like, I think they're just, you know, kind of making like a fun little...
Just like America does everything else. They steal it.
Yeah.
They done stole it.
All right. Well, I think it's time for a little Would You Rather? Yeah.
Ding.
So, for this movie, would you rather get turned into a snowman and live basically outside of your house, facing your house, and live, like, watch your family live their lives, but again, you're stuck as a snowman? Or would you rather know that you're stuck in a snow globe in Krampus's lair, but you're with your family, but you're living your life on a loop? So you're basically living the same day.
Over and over.
Over and over.
So would I rather be stuck in a snow globe with my family in Krampus's lair, and we don't know when Krampus is gonna pop out, or I mean, once he keeps you, right? I'm assuming.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if he does anything.
I don't know.
The snow globe. Or would I rather watch my family live their life
as you're stuck as a snow globe?
I'm stuck as a snowman. So my question with the thing as being a snowman, with this snowman is, do I melt away once the season's over?
I don't know. Just like
do I turn into a tree or something?
You can turn into a little tree.
So
you can turn into a little twee.
The nosy part of me wants to stay a snowman and watch my family live their life. Or would I rather just live with them the same day over and over? I think I'd go crazy.
That would be so annoying.
I would be annoyed.
Because, like, you would be the only one who knows.
Oh.
They think that, it's just a new day.
Oh, no.
But you know that it's the same day. And that you're living... You're stuck in a snow globe.
Like, you know everything.
They are
oblivious.
They are oblivious.
Oh,
yes.
That makes things worse.
I know.
Or does it make it better?
Huh?
Or does it make it better? Because then you can, like, lie to them one day.
Yeah.
You can, like, do things different days.
I think, yeah. Like, you could walk around naked for a whole day.
Literally. And then they'll be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And then literally the next day,
the next morning,
like,
they're like, hey.
Exactly.
I honestly think I would probably live in a snow globe.
You think you'd live in a snow globe?
I think I'll go with the snow globe. Yeah.
I would gaslight the fuck out of my family one day.
Me too.
Because I know the next day they're going to forget about it.
Yeah. Same. Except imagine the one day that you actually do go naked and then the next day they remember everything.
Like the snow globe broke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to go with living in a snow globe the same day. Because I feel like I'd be able to like manipulate and to make certain days fun. Mm-hmm. And then I would like force my family to like make me something. Like I would still, whoever decides to cook or whoever is cooking, I would force them to like make something different every day. Yeah. Okay. I love that. I decide to live in a snow globe.
Same.
That sounds great. But okay, let's go ahead and rate the movie. So, this movie did have a few scares here and there, so we'll have a scary scale for this one, but we'll also have a satisfactory scale. So with our horror movies, we have both scary and satisfactory. Just because a movie is good doesn't always mean it's scary. So what would you rate this?
So scary, I'm gonna have to give it a 5 out of 10, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
So the scariness kind of came from
I feel like just Krampus himself.
yeah, no, quite literally, like the story of Krampus, like you knowing the history and the story of Krampus and just how creepy he looks. I think that's enough for me.
Yeah.
But again, there were some occasional jump scares.
Yeah.
Like girl, the end,
The ending
end
was
scene?
pretty. Yep.
like after they show all the snow globes, hell nah. That
You're
shit
like,
gets
no,
me.
thank you.
No, that shit gets me all the time.
Uh-huh.
And so, satisfactory. I'm gonna give it like an 8.5, 9 out of 10.
Okay.
Again, funny. It's comedic. It has horror elements in it. Definitely, scary here and there. But the one thing that's kind of like making me kind of not give it a complete like 10 out of 10 is that I feel like it took too long to get to the point.
Okay.
It took way too long to show us Krampus.
Okay. Yeah.
Or to
because you only
have
really
some
see
action.
him in the beginning,
Yeah.
sort of, and then you see him again like at the very tail end of the
Yeah.
movie.
And I
So
feel
you don't
like
get a lot.
Personally, I feel like the ending was just a teeny tiny bit rushed.
Okay.
Because everyone started to get taken away all in
I
1
think
second.
I would have appreciated the kills that the elves and the gingerbread were doing if maybe Krampus would have done those kills.
Yeah.
And
And the shape of Krampus himself is very creepy and extremely terrifying. But his face kind of threw me off because why the fuck is he in lockjaw? Like, why is his mouth open like that? Like, isn't he supposed to be a half goat? Like, where's his goat face?
Where's his goat
Like,
face? No, he has a
yeah.
goat body.
Oh, you're right. But still, like,
Yeah, I get it. You
know what I
like,
mean?
I feel like he could have been scarier.
again, the shape of him was, I liked
Terrifying.
the shape of him. But the face kind of like threw me off.
You're like,
'cause I'm like, ugh.
You're like, ah.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you surprised?
Yeah.
What are you scared of?
So yeah, that was me.
Understood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, like the movie Comfort, like I'm not gonna hate on it, but I will say that I wish there was just a little bit more action in the beginning. Not a lot, of course we need to build up and everything, but I do think it took a second to get to the action part.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
yeah, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I kind of do wish we could have seen what happened to Beth's boyfriend, because apparently it was pretty nasty.
That's true. Because because they went into the house, into
Yeah.
his house, right? And
Yeah.
everything was like
Messed up and all
messed
that.
up.
So.
And yeah, I do too. Would have liked to known what
And
exactly happened to him.
I would have also liked to see the actual like scenes or moments where they actually like what happens to Beth. Like yes, the van shakes, but what happened?
I think it was the idea of like
kind of leave it as a
something
mystery?
so like something so sinister can make blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I want to see it.
Right.
I want to see them die.
Yeah.
Um,
What about you?
But yeah, I mean, honestly, same. My scary scale was going to be a 5, but I think I'm bumping it down to a 4 because I wasn't really terrified by this movie.
Right.
It's the idea of Krampus that's really scary. And I think it's supposed to help like put you into the Christmas spirit. Like, hey, you don't want to be doubting Christmas because this is what's gonna come after you. But I wasn't scared by the movie.
Right.
And then for satisfactory, I'm giving it a good 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's a classic one for me now. I like the story of Krampus. Honestly, I think what brings me comfort from this movie is the cast. I really do love everyone that's in this movie. And so I think that is very helpful. And it's just the fact that it's a Micheal Dougherty movie. It's a good one. It's a good one. I can tell that he likes digging into the past.
Yeah.
Like he likes to dig to the history and the reasoning for a lot of like for Trick or Treat. He likes the history and the background of like actual Halloween, and he wanted everyone to understand that this comes from a lot of different places.
He likes to bring folklore
into
the modern
light,
times.
into
Into modern-
see, like, hey, like
Yeah.
don't forget, like, this is a really cool concept and this is a really cool holiday. But don't forget that there's like
Where
a
it
background
came
to all
from.
of these things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's really cool.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's
So
what's up.
so it got a good 8 out of 10. It's definitely one that I can like show people and being like, did you like it? You don't like it? That's all right. I liked it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, guys. Well,
Overall,
I
good.
think we are getting close to the end of this episode. Again, I genuinely enjoy watching this movie every
I do too.
Christmas. And I personally recommend it to those of you who just want a good laugh and an occasional scare, but still want to feel in the Christmas spirit. Mm-hmm. And thanks again for those of you who snuck around to the end of this episode. And as always, we truly appreciate your support. And if you happen to know a horror freak who doesn't know about us just yet,
Please
let them know.
send them our link
Send them our way. Because we
so
are
we
trying,
can traumatize them further.
Yes. We are trying to reach as many horror freaks as we can. So your help would be truly appreciated.
100%. Absolutely. And if you're not already following if you're not already following us on any social media, we will be having everything tagged below in the description for this episode. But getting into next week's movie, we will finally be covering The Mean One.
Yes,
we'll
ma'am.
leave that for our Christmas time. Dude, Christmas is next weekend.
Christmas is next week.
I'm not ready. But anyway, we will be covering The Mean One. So it should be coming out this week. So we hopefully have a way to actually watch it.
Yes.
And then once we watch it, we will let you know all of the things that we think about this movie.
Yes. I will say I did watch the trailer.
You did watch it?
I did.
Okay, I didn't.
Okay.
Any thoughts?
It looks like it's going to be a movie.
Okay.
It
We
looks like
movies.
it's going. Huh?
We like movies.
We like movies. So, you know,
hopefully it's a movie.
hopefully it is a movie.
Okay,
But
I
it does
love
look
that.
like it's going to be a movie, if you know
Great.
what I'm saying.
I love that. I love that.
But
I
I'm
hope
still
so, too.
excited.
Yeah.
I'm still excited because,
too.
again, like we've mentioned, we love David,
Yeah.
Howard Thornton, and David Harbour,
And
and probably any other David out there.
Yep,
That's a
there we
good
go.
person.
But yeah, so Mean One will be next, and
Yes.
yeah, we'll let you know our thoughts on that one.
And
But-
thanks again for y'all support.
Yes.
We've been your hosts, Jessica.
And Monica,
Stay safe and,
And
stay
stay
spooky. So we were trying to say greetings from
von
Krampus in German, which it's grosse from Krampus. But that sounded awful, so I'm gonna let Siri say
Google
it.
say it.
I'm gonna let
Grüße vom Krampus.
There we go. Whatever she
Grüße
said.
vom Krampus.
Grosse vom Krampus.
I love that. Believe in Christmas, or Krampus will come after you.
Per.
Oof, that was scary. I can't wait to come back next week.